So today we are running through a few photolithographies. Photolithography is the process of printing designs and patterns on substrates such as silicon oxide wafers from a basically light camera using UV light. The process of doing photolithography first starts by cleaning the wafer by using acetone and methanol, and then we use nitrogen gas to dry the wafer. Using a spin coater, we apply a vacuum to the spin coater and start spinning the wafer. After that, we clean it again, and then we have the opportunity to add photoresist and use the spin coater again to equally distribute the photoresist onto the wafer. The next step would be to pre-bake the photoresist at 111 degrees Celsius. After pre-bake, then we move it over to the lithography machine by using the dimensions of the wafer and taking exact measurements using the program. We print the pattern onto the wafer with UV light exposure. We then move on to the post-bake, which we post-bake it at about 119 degrees Celsius. And then we bring it over to the UV light exposure, and then we are able to put it in the developer solution so that the pattern gets a chance to develop. We then put it under deionized water and then check under the microscope to see if we were able to develop it. We can see the details of what we printed from the lithography machine, and we see where the UV has stripped away the photoresist and we're left with just the substrate on the bottom. And then we see where the photoresist stayed from the pattern. These applications allow you to put really small details such as transistors and different electronic devices on these chips that help our phones, computers, and all those sorts of things operate. Big companies like Intel, they do this process at a much bigger scale, which much higher tech. I am doing this research as a part of Dr. Steinaff's research group. This process is really me learning the different intricacies of how to use the material and the mechanics that are in the lab so that I can hopefully work on projects later. Skills and abilities that I've gained from this research are really attention to detail. With this process, especially with lithography, it's important to follow the steps but also figure out what is unique about the steps. The process of lithography, though seemingly simple, takes a varied amount of finesse to be able to get it right and do it correctly. I think I've also learned different processes of how science is done, like continuing to do something and changing different parameters to be able to focus on what you're doing and change what you're doing and see results. I think Dr. Stinaff has taken the opportunity for his undergraduates and some of the Ascent students to really focus on skills that are able to be applied and be able to say on a resume, hey, I can do photolithography successfully. My plan would be to use the skills that I've learned and hopefully develop research experience to help me get a PhD in the future and go on to be a college professor.